This is from October 17th, 2018. Friends and non-friends. In times of transition, a peculiar cavalry arrives. No horses or rifles are involved. They make no arguments on my behalf. They confront no enemies. They offer simple affirmation. My wife, Paula, goes to Milwaukee to see friends. One friend, a young Rick, is not working. Unbeknownst to me, this friend reads my blog. That's how she knew. He's such a good writer. He should just write. Paula strongly agrees. My wife is my greatest friend, and her support means everything. Everything. Several Facebook friends like my writing, thumbs up icons, hearts. They make positive comments. Wow, a fine writer. Does anyone know a publisher? This should be in Rolling Stone. I love this. The Facebook friends share my writing on their pages and in groups. They show me that my work has meaning to others, not just me. Their approval is not what counts. What matters is that they are there. They are not the broader audience for which my work is ultimately intended. They are more than that. They are the prophets who tell me that my audience exists. An old dear friend who I've known since my Second City days in the 1980s invites me to join a small business networking app. She provides me with a tool of independence, but more importantly, she tells me in that simple action that I deserve that independence. When I was working as a lawyer in the Prudential building, I went to a coffee place in the basement one day. I ran into two non-friends from Second City who also know my old dear friend. The non-friends work in advertising. They ridiculed me for working for a living. They ridiculed me for being a lawyer. They later ridiculed me for being an academic. I am certain that they would ridicule me for writing, particularly writing of this kind, now. They ridicule the transformations of my life, a life of growth that rejects ladders. Friendship is not found in membership in the Second City or any other kind of alumni association. The memory of the non-friends ridicule, a competitive social transaction that I am sure the non-friends have long forgotten. I'm sure that they have several such interactions every day. That memory lives on in my hippocampus, in a minor key not as severe as the attempted rape of Dr. Blasey Ford. The non-friends wanted to create doubt, and they succeeded in a limited way. They did not paralyze me. They only gave me difficult moments, a harassing feeling to contemplate and overcome when things were up in the air. Their goal was to make things harder for me and to make me feel alone. Their cunning was to exploit my naive belief that they were my friends. Their cunning reveals their fear. They are smart men, maybe among the smartest. They saw what was strong in me and wished to conquer it. They wanted to win some contest in a league that I never joined. Smart, fearful men conspire to lay low the greatness available to all of us who live with loving and earnest openness and innocence. We are vulnerable to hurt and disappointment, to honor the potential for joy, the joy of friendship. Winning is an illusion. The winner believes he has conquered fear. But as Dallas Cowboy Dwayne Thomas said in the 1970s, if the Super Bowl is the ultimate game, why are they going to play it next year? Love is what conquers all. Judas was the smartest apostle. Salieri saw Mozart's greatness with greater insight than any of Mozart's other contemporaries. Betrayal is not reserved to be inflicted upon men and women of genius and upon the divine. Let me read that line again. Betrayal is not reserved to be inflicted upon men and women of genius and upon the divine. We are all people of genius, and we all have God within us. Our choice to accept that reality or not determines what we create or destroy in our finite lives and in eternity. A great mistake would be to respond to non-friends' competitive violence with violence. My dear old friend redeems me from this old recurring pain and temptation with an invitation to a networking app. She saves me from the hell of retribution, if only in a theater of arguments in my mind. I focus on her love, and the non-friends disappear. They transform into something else, sad people, worthy of compassion, while in a hell, a purgatory. It's up to them, incapable of friendship. Not people to be saved, people to be understood. My dear old friend healed my wound of doubt, and she has never even known about the ridicule in the coffee shop. That's how it works. Friendship is the field of unintended miracles. The non-friends would laugh at my sensitivity here. They continue to live their lives like a pickup basketball game. I get it now. In 2018, millions of non-friends are agitated. They panic. This is true at any time, at any point in history. 2018 is one of the moments when the crisis of non-friendship is apparent to just about everybody. Non-friendship is in a heightened and extreme state. The addiction to success forces armies of non-friend junkies to commit acts of escalating malevolence. Millions of non-friends live in this state of fierce and spiritually constipated animation. They believe that war, the most unforgiving competition, leads to accomplishment. They assess their lives quantitatively, body counts, delight in the suffering of others. The qualitative, love, is ignored. I live, you die, I win. Their toughness denies them friendship and meaning. Their toughness denies them vulnerability. Their toughness denies them life itself. Other millions live in friendship. The capacity to give and accept friendship is a gift. In Catholic school, it would be called a manifestation of God's grace. The friends bear witness to their divine gift. The witness drives the non-friends to exaggerated and ever greater degrees of manic lunacy. The non-friends fear love because love acknowledges death. Love it respects reality. Non-friendship is a severe mental illness. The craziest people aren't in asylums. Life is short and eternal. Make it count. Non-friends can't handle that truth, so they play act a murderous fairy tale. Fear meets love whether either side likes it or not. Fear is driven to dominate. Love rejects cliques, so the subjugation of the fearful is out of the question. All men are created equal. Condescension and oppression are perverse. The current American conflict is superficially described as tribal. It is not tribal. It is a moral struggle. We are all Jesus, Mozart, and Trump in differing degrees and in a myriad of good and bad personal qualities. Even something in Trump himself knows right from wrong. We are all born with a conscience and a desire to love and be loved. Non-friends heavy on the Trump can't be persuaded. Trying to convince them is a fool's errand. When lousiness is so prevalent, friends are confronted with a challenge and an opportunity. If we can accentuate the Jesus and Mozart and eliminate as much of the Trump within ourselves as humanly possible, and don't mess with Mr. In-Between, the external world will more perfectly mirror the beauty in our hearts. Two friends and a child of a friend have cancer. Another friend struggles during the months before a hip replacement. All three friends have bestowed on me their warmth and generosity for many years. Their suffering and hope is also mine. Friendship is an honor. Friendship has no burden. The heaviest of things make us light. Years ago, I suffered through a period of my life when I couldn't see the good in the world. I could only see hard-heartedness, bad intentions, and disease. I knew that friends emerged in times of illness and disaster, but I saw no role for friendship in the simple struggle of living life, my struggle then and now. I was a person trapped in an illusion of loneliness and isolation. Your parents help you when you are dependent, if you are lucky enough to have loving parents. Who is there for you when you don't need help, when your task is life, something that you must figure out and execute alone? Friends. No one can make a life for you. This is life's challenge, and it is its greatness. But as you create meaning, not by manufacturing reasons, but rather by honoring impulses divinely imprinted in your soul, friends arrive. People that you know and people that you had not yet met. Friends. Friendship is one of the greatest wonders of the world, much more impressive than the Grand Canyon. Friends who say, I see you and I love you. Friends who say, I am different than you and I am the same. What is imprinted upon your heart also lives in mine. Friendship, not its sentimental yearning expressed in Hallmark cards, but an existential reality, the paradox of specific individuality and the connection of community. Friendship is beyond society. Society is formed out of fear. Society is a pact of mutual protection. Friendship is born in adventure, beating cancer, living and dying, starting out as a professional writer, restoring a democracy. Nothing in human history was ever accomplished by society. Everything great was accomplished by friendship and other forms of love. Cable TV pundits opine on how to respond to fascism. Websites give direction on how to counter bullies. Vocational counselors advise ways to deal with bad bosses and unforgiving markets. Varieties of non-friendship. Friends know what to do by virtue of who and what they are. Work to understand your own soul. Affirm the souls of others doing the same work. Follow the demands of your authenticity with integrity. Never compromise your soul to the demands of your enemies, but love your enemies, and don't fight your enemies using their methods. Know that whether you win or lose is not what matters. What matters is being true and loving what is true in others. The power of the powerless. Friends. Copyright 2018, Richard Thomas.